What's up, everybody? This is episode number 277 of Some Shit We Like. My name is Bryce, and this here is Rick, who is always here, and this is James, who is joining us this week for the very first time. If you guys are watching us live, we appreciate that, and you saw our tweet, and like I always say, what's that? Or you missed the tweet. Like I always say, we don't really have a set time when we go live, so that's why you have to follow us on social media. And if you aren't watching us, what's happening?
No, we're live. I thought we were live.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. If you aren't watching us live, then you're probably catching us on podcast services, whichever one you prefer to use, someshitwelike.com. Or maybe you are not watching this part, but you might be watching a different part of the show because we throw up clips. If you don't want to just listen, you could watch us, and we throw up clips starting on Tuesday at noon, Wednesday at noon. Rick is trying to fuck me up. Thursday at noon, and then also Thursday at 6. Then we put up the whole show on Friday if you just want to watch it all in one shot. So yeah, if you weren't lucky enough to watch us live, you can watch the whole thing on Friday. Otherwise, you have to settle for just the audio on Tuesday and clips throughout the week. So, with that said, how's everybody doing?
Surviving.
Good. Hot.
Yeah,
very hot.
It has been a fucking miserable 24 hours or so here in Southern California. Yesterday was worse. Today is not much better. I was making the joke yesterday that Google on my phone was notifying me that it was going to be a whole 5 degrees colder today than it was on Friday, and that set it at about 99 degrees. Of like, oh well, thanks for that. You know, that makes me feel so much better. Grab your sweaters, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you lucky enough to have air conditioning?
Thank God, yes. Yeah.
So lucky.
So, I guess I'll do the sort of, I don't know, obligatory, forced, how did you two meet? Tell me. I don't really know much. Rick just said, hey, James is coming on the show. I'm like, okay, so someone spill it.
So how did we meet?
Well, like
officially.
Most sexy men, we met online.
All right.
That's true, we did.
Yeah.
And
our relationship blossomed from there.
Great.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to find the source.
Well, I mean, I literally know that, like, so are you on YouTube? Do you do anything of the sort?
Yes,
that?
I am on YouTube.
Okay.
I don't know what I do, but I'm on there.
Okay.
He puts out videos to inform you what is coming and leaving to Netflix. Well, those are the ones I mostly watch.
And I think
Those are
Those are the ones you really do, actually.
No one watches the others.
Well, you've done that, and then you've also done, like, the unboxings-ish, like, once or twice.
Pretty much trying to copy you.
Oh.
there you go. I think about a year ago, I want to say it was, I was actually living, I guess, somewhat close to you, according to him. And I think he showed me, this is James, I'm assuming, he showed me a video where you guys were Ouijaing or something.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That video, yeah.
That wasn't my idea. It was the other person's idea.
Oh.
Okay. Well, he showed that to me because I like
He's
scary, paranormal, whatever stuff.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that's cool. And so, all right. So same guy.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Hello.
All right. Yeah.
Now you're going to ask him
Ask him what?
the question,
What's the question?
his last name.
I don't remember. What?
Okay, because you know how on YouTube you're James Redwine,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
And then, like, we have a friend, too, whose name is Joe Cash, or at least I thought his name was Joe Cash. But it turns out his name was actually Joe...
Like Caccio or something.
or
Like
something
he's
like that.
Italian or something.
I always thought his last name was Cash, and I found this out.
Let's explain this a little bit more. So we met some other sexy men through the internet as well.
Nice.
Who, oddly enough, I was actually scared for his life because we met them. Came on the podcast, and Rick decided he was going to fly to New Jersey / New York and help one of the people that we met, Ryan O'Leary, people who watch us know, with his movie. I'm like, dude, really? Like, we've literally only met this guy on the podcast, and you're going to just fly across the country and go hang out with this dude, right? So anyways, eventually I've met him and everybody, and we've become friends and stuff. And it's kind of like, I feel like there's Ryan, there's Dan, there's Josh, and whenever they mention their friends' names, they're like, it's not just like, oh, they're interesting. Like, there's Joe Cash. I can't think of other ones, but
Hef?
Huh?
I think his name was Hef.
There's someone else named like Hef, and I'm just like, what is all this stuff? I'm like, is that a name? I'm like, no, that's his name. I'm like, why are, like, this is Rick and this is James, I'm Bryce, Mike, like, what's with all these? So I guess what? Because I've made like Joe Cash or whatever. I go to Rick, I'm like, that guy's name is not Joe Cash, right? Like, It can't be. And then I don't know. I somehow stumbled across something like on our social media or something where I saw his actual name. Like, oh, okay, his name's Caccio or something like that. People call him Joe Cash. And then he probably said like, oh, James Redwine. I'm like, his name isn't Redwine, is it? Like, does he love wine? Like, what's the story? So I guess that's what Rick was getting at. So
Yes.
I guess tell me, is your last name Red Wine? And if you don't like red wine, that is a crime.
And if it's not, and you don't want to say your last name, then don't.
No, that's fine. My last name is Red Wine.
Wow.
And no, I hate red wine actually.
Okay.
I can't stand it.
Oh, okay.
White?
No, I don't like wine at all,
Oh, you
unless,
like wine?
unless there's
Oh,
like
wow,
a pound of
okay.
sugar in it.
That's
So
so
dessert wine
interesting.
maybe.
Yeah, all right.
See, I like white wine.
Look at you, I told you so. I mean, it's fair for me to think that
Oh, yeah,
isn't
I guess.
actually your last name.
I get it a lot.
Yeah.
I used to make reservations like under my name, and then I would show up, and then they wouldn't have it there because they thought it was a joke.
Yeah. I remember, this is all coming back to me now. I think when Rick first told me about you, I was convinced that, he's like, oh yeah, he's on YouTube and stuff. I'm like, oh, what does he review wines and stuff? I thought like you were really, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like maybe you should, maybe that's the niche you should carve out.
I wish I liked it.
Yeah. Maybe that's even better. It's like you review red wines, but you hate them all.
Like, this
So
was
you let the
least-
audience decide, or you bring somebody on that likes them. So I don't know.
That's a new series. I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep that in mind.
All right. No one steal it though. The 5 of you that are watching.
There's no one watching right now.
Okay. So you guys connected on the internet, and
Uh,
at some point, and then you've met in
We
person
met at VidCon in person.
at VidCon. Gotcha.
I think it was in 2016.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was 2016.
Did you not go this year?
No, I went this
Yeah.
year.
You guys hung out this year too.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
We both know it's the one place where you meet everyone
Yeah.
that you talk to online, so our time is very divided.
It's interesting. Rick's always tried to get me to go, and I just haven't went. I'm weird in that I have like no social media presence at all. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on anything.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't think you're real.
I might not be. I joke that I'm anti-social media. So
But he's very social.
yeah,
I can
like,
tell.
I don't know. I'm just not. I don't want to say that I guess I'm private in a sense. Like I don't get it. Like I'm weird that I don't necessarily feel like I want to post a picture. And it's people that do that's great. I totally understand it. I get it. I get that people keep in touch that way. I totally understand it. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny. The most social media that I get is, I guess, when I do stuff for the show account and whatnot.
You're missing out on all those yellow dollar signs.
I guess so. So, all right. So that's how you guys met. And Rick invited you on the show.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to discuss red wine, but I guess we're not. Because that really is just his last name. So we appreciate you coming out for sure.
Yeah.
Of
Especially
course.
with
Yeah.
this heat.
I'm sure your ride over was probably more enjoyable than it is currently in this room, because I'm sure your car was very nice and cool.
Oh
and
yeah, I have the
air-conditioned.
AC blasting.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not that bad in here.
All right. I guess I just want to complain.
Okay. So, Bryce,
What?
should we get into it, Jane?
Sure,
Or
I guess.
do you got any more?
Any more what?
I don't know.
He relies on me to do all this pre-show banter and stuff. I don't know. So
You're-
okay,
you're
let's talk
good at the
about it.
pre-show
Let's
banter.
talk about it. You guys met in person, and then the rest is history, right? Like you guys fell in love, and no, but you connected.
pretty much.
You connected.
Yeah, pretty much.
The first time you met, I'm sorry if I missed it. Was at VidCon, or you met outside of VidCon?
No, I've been.
At VidCon, yeah.
And then didn't you go to his place or something?
No,
I thought that's how you knew that he lived kind of close to me at the
no,
time.
he just told me.
He just told you. Okay,
No.
wrong. You were gonna go to his place. You were gonna be on one of his videos.
No, it was on
Something.
one of his videos.
You were. That's what.
he
Bam.
was,
That's
yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
Yeah, I just pre-taped it and
Okay.
sent it to him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
It was the
gotcha.
January Netflix video.
Yeah, I did a Truman Show.
You showed that to me. I remember now. It's all coming
I
back.
love that. I love that
It
movie
really
so
is.
much. Truman Show.
I haven't
I
seen
just.
it.
Oh my God, Bryce. That's his thing.
That's the other thing is
That's
there's a
the
lot of
running joke.
movies that apparently I should have seen that I haven't seen. But there's a lot of stuff that he also has like never
Sure.
seen that's ridiculous. So
a lot of the classic horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
I
yeah.
haven't seen that. Like growing up with Christian Lee, I couldn't see any of those. So I haven't even seen Beetlejuice.
That was a big
That's
one.
the big one. That
I'm like, have you not seen Peter?
You've seen it since then, right?
No.
no, I still haven't.
Yeah. I know.
What?
Yeah. But I'm bad too, like, because prior to really doing this podcast and stuff, like, I'd never, like, I guess literally weeks leading up to Force Awakens coming out. I never watched Star Wars ever.
So we made him watch all 3.
So I watched it. I had a girlfriend that was a Star Wars fan, or that is a Star Wars fan. And then when new movies started happening, I'm like, well, obviously I'm going to go with you to see these movies. So I guess I need to get caught up. So I did that. It was never like one of those things where it's like, oh, fuck Star Wars. Or I never watched them. My brother and sister, my older brother and sister did, but I just something I never did. And then the other thing with me also is I just didn't grow up like with comics and stuff. So like,
He wasn't a nerd.
that's what he likes to joke about. But anyways, I'm not saying I'm into comics now, but I watch all the movies now or whatever, and I'm more into it now. It took Rick. I think my gateway, my entry into the world was Rick. I was living in San Diego at the time. We were going to do something else. I don't remember what it was, but prior to that, what were we doing?
I don't remember.
Was it to see Scream 3 or was it?
It was Thor.
No. But that's what you had me do during the day. See,
Yeah.
That's the other thing he does. He ruins the fucking thing. So Thor, the original Thor, was my gateway into all those Marvel movies and stuff, which we watched while we were, because we had free time during the day before we were doing whatever else we were doing. I don't know what it was, but I think it was a screening or something.
Probably a screening.
So Thor was my gateway. I really like Thor, and then after that, like then Avengers and all that stuff, and now I see all of them. So when we talk about all this stuff, I don't know a lot about a lot. So I ask maybe, I don't know how big you are into this stuff, but maybe to Rick and other people that are fans are stupid questions. Like, like, oh, what about this? What about that? I don't know the history and stuff. So.
What about you? Like, are you really into did you read the comic books or any? I mean, not just Ant-Man, but like any.
Not before. Like, I'll read some now, but after watching the movies, I'm always really interested. So I'll read I don't know, like Cliff Notes versions of like everything that's happened.
So just the movies that got you to start reading it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So were you interested, like, when this whole thing started to blow up? Like, were you immediately like, oh, I want to see the movies? Like...
Oh, yeah.
So you had an interest. Like, for me, I was almost kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to be a part of this, because, like, it just wasn't something that I was a fan of, Like, I honestly don't know that I would see any of these movies if you didn't take me to go see Thor. Just, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't know. If I didn't already have the interest there, I just wasn't sure what was going to drive me to go see it. But I'm glad that I did, because they are fun movies for sure.
Yeah. I love the comic book movies.
Well, you're the biggest comic book nerd at this table, though. So
I've been reading them since I was a kid.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I'm proud.
You should be.
Yeah.
Mutant and proud.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I have any more pre-show stuff. Again, we just kind of, you could interrupt us. You could talk about anything. We don't follow a script. We don't follow whatever. If the conversation goes in a certain way or something pops up in your head, just fucking go for it.
We'll see.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. So with that, I think we have somewhat of stuff planned. So Rick, tell us.
Yeah, I got a small few things to put out there. So 2 trailers for us today, which... Funny enough, they both have Steve Carell in it.
Okay.
So, let's watch that.
Hey, looking good.
What is all of this?
The world-famous Marwin, Mark's art installation.
So that's the guy.
Yeah, it's right up there.
Some Nazi thugs jumped him. It's a miracle he survived.
I was a hell of a good artist, and now I can barely write my name. So my dolls have to tell a story.
At your service, mademoiselle.
I just moved in across the street. I love all the details. Who are they?
They are Nazis torturing Odie.
Oh, that's cool. They're in a movie together
because
again.
he's different. The women of Marwin
40-year-old
protect me.
You are safe.
A toast, just for you.
Are all of the dolls people you know?
Yeah, everyone has a place here in Marwin.
I just moved in across the street.
So are you gonna go to the sentencing?
You're a suffering human being. I want these guys to get more than just a slap on the wrist. It's important that you're there to look your assailant straight in the eye.
I'm not really sure how to do this.
When are you gonna man up and put an end to this crap?
What are you talking about?
We're one and the same, pal. If I can be a hero, so can you.
Maybe the dolls should stay in the car.
I never go anywhere without my backup.
kill?
Gotta embrace that pain. It's the only way Mark's gonna heal. I got your back, Hoagie.
Bottoms up, girls.
What do you think this is? The Indy 500?
Thought I heard you yelling for more gumbo.
No gumbo.
Gotta love the pain. Pain is our rocket fuel.
I have my art, and I have my friends. I have hope, and I'll be okay.
Hell yeah.
That's kind of violent. But at least the Nazis are dead.
So,
that looks really interesting, actually.
so it's Robert Zemeckis, as it says right there, and I think it looks awesome. It looks good.
Yeah, I think it looks beautiful.
I mean, I love Steve Carell. I forgot that they were both in 40-year-old version.
Yeah. It just didn't hit. I mean, maybe they've been in other stuff too, but I just remember, that scene.
That's the drunk scene, right?
Yeah,
okay.
she's, yeah.
French toast.
Was it? Yeah. Was this movie on your radar, or
No, not at all.
you
In
just
fact,
happened to stumble?
I watched. What did I watch? I don't know. I watched something and on one of the indie theaters, and this showed up.
Mhm.
Like, wow, this looks really good, and I thought I'd bring
Won't
it to
you
your
be my
attention.
neighbor?
Probably,
That's probably what it was.
and I had to bring it to your attention because
Yeah, no, I think that looks really cool.
it looked really interesting. Plus, Robert Zemeckis is
Yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I like most of his stuff. All of his stuff, really. Well, no, because I haven't seen Castaway. Castaway is one that I haven't seen. But for the most part, I've seen pretty much most of his movies, I think.
James, I take it because you do YouTube stuff where, what was it, like Netflix releases? That you're pretty big into movies, then I take it?
Oh yeah, way
Okay.
bigger than I should be.
Oh, wow. All right. So that's obviously something that looks pretty appealing to you.
Oh yeah, I'll see that. I actually been following the real story
Oh, wow.
for
Yeah, it's
a
based
while.
on a true story.
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
really
It's quite
interesting.
sad, and they already changed a bunch, but it looks like for the better.
Okay.
And clearly, this is Steve's chance for an Oscar. I
Yeah.
think.
I hope so, because he's a really good actor.
Very versatile.
Isn't
He's
it?
good.
Isn't it funny like that's like a pattern? A lot of these people start off in these comedies and stuff where like you just think that that's them. You put them in that box of
Mhm.
like you're a comedic actor, and then I mean Jim Carrey, Jack Black, Steve Carell, like then all of a sudden they
Robin
do these
Williams.
Robin
Adam
Williams,
Sandler.
Adam Sandler. You do these movies where a little bit more serious tone or just different, tonally different,
Oh, yeah.
and all of a sudden you see their chops and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting how often that happens though. But yeah, I think
it should happen more, in my opinion. 'Cause I think there's a lot of great funny people out there, or a lot of great funny actors that can do that I'm sure are like really good at dramatic roles.
yeah. I know. I think there's probably some people out there where it pisses them off, or it's like, but this guy's so funny. Like, why aren't you doing? I wanted to see the next blah 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 comedy. You know what I mean?
That's how it felt when I watched Punch Drunk Love.
Well, yeah.
Because when I watched that, people in the theater were laughing at him. I mean, that's not a movie where you want to laugh
Right.
at Adam Sandler.
Yeah. It's almost kind of like, I don't know. I almost feel like the actors that do that, it's almost like they have something to prove, which is good. It's like, hey, don't just put me in this box. Like I could do more than just be like a one-note joke. You know what I mean? But I think it is interesting how many go down that path. Like, I mean, we listed off a bunch that do that, but yeah, I don't know.
Are there any comedic actors you'd like to see do dramatic roles?
Not that I could think of offhand. Like, it isn't something where I don't
You'd
look,
actually look
well,
for
I
that?
don't, yeah, I don't know that I look at an actor that is mostly in comedies and think like, oh, I wonder how they would do in this, but that's just me, you know what I mean? But it is interesting when it happens for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that looks really cool. That was this year.
Yes.
Okay. This year. All right.
Cool. Let's move on to the next trailer.
Did you have anything else to say about that trailer? No?
No, I don't.
Okay.
good.
Yeah, that's what happens. Sometimes we'll watch these trailers and maybe we don't have.
Well, the animation or
whatever
computer
that
graphics
is,
they're doing is amazing. Especially the part where the doll falls and you think blood and guts, and then it's the toy just breaks in half. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Okay.
All right, another trailer. We've been very trailer heavy these past few shows, but it seems like news has been kind of light.
Yeah. All right, so this next trailer again has Steve Carell in it. It's a Amazon Studios movie. It's called Beautiful Boy.
So does that mean that doesn't necessarily mean it's going direct to Amazon, right? Because some of these movies still end up in theaters. I think they do.
Yeah, they usually do.
Because wasn't shit. What was the movie? What was my movie of the year?
The Big Sick.
Yeah.
I think
that was Amazon Studios?
That was
if I
Amazon,
remember
yeah.
right, and that was definitely in theaters.
That was definitely in theaters.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys hear it okay?
Yeah.
So how you doing? I'm doing great. Just doing what needs to be done.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, Dad.
Why don't we just have lunch and talk? We can do that, right? Please. You think that you have this under control.
I understand why I do things. It doesn't make me any different. You're just embarrassed because I was like this amazing thing, like your special creation or something, and you don't like who I am now.
Yeah? Who are you, Nick?
This is me, Dad. Here, this is who I am.
This is not you. This is not you, Nick.
What are you doing, huh? You always gotta be controlling everything all the time.
Let me book your room
No, Dad.
at a hotel for a couple of nights.
Dad. I don't want it to go like this.
My son has gone missing. Nicholas Sheff, S-H-E-F-F.
There's no one by that name, sir.
There are moments that I look at him, this kid that I raised, who I thought I knew inside and out, and I wonder who he is. I thought we were close. I thought we were closer than most fathers and sons. Why?
I felt better than I ever had, so I just kept on doing it.
This isn't us. This is not who we are. My son is out there somewhere, and I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how to help him. You can't.
I don't feel like I have a disease. This isn't like cancer. This is my choice. I put myself here.
I failed.
I can't do it alone.
I need to find a way to fill this black hole in me. I still have a family. I want them to be proud of me.
What you have, you're gonna find it again. You're gonna get it back. Do you know how much I love you? I love you more than everything.
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 So, have you guys both seen that one before?
No, that was my first time.
That was
seeing
first
that.
time. You?
I saw it. Yeah.
That seems very much in your wheelhouse. Like, absolutely.
Yes, I
feel
saw
like-
this and I was like, my first thought was like, oh my god, this is gonna make me tear like crazy and cry. And then I started, as I was watching it, like the first scene when they're talking, I'm like, oh my god, I wrote something almost exactly like that.
Really?
No joke.
Are you
Although
gonna-
the roles were reversed.
Are you gonna sue?
Totally. I'm gonna get my lawyers ready, and no, but
That's why you wanted to watch us on the podcast, right? Because you wanted to put it out there
I
that
just
it
wanted
was
to put it
your
out there,
idea
like-
first.
yeah, I wrote something
That's smart.
similar, but no. It's totally different. But that one scene just reminded me of this one scene I wrote in my.
Yeah, as I was watching that trailer, I was like, "This is totally it."
But other than that, like I love Steve Carell, and when I saw this, I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Like he has 2 chances now for an Oscar because I think this is gonna be really good.
What do you think, James?
I thought it looked good. It looks sad.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm gonna race out to see it, but
That's this guy, though.
But I'll see it.
Yeah, there's a joke on the show too, where like a lot of times like I'm kind of always down to see movies. Like I'm not too particular. Like I just like going to see movies and stuff. And so, He hasn't done it so much lately, but Rick would always be like, hey, do you want to go see this movie? I'm like, I don't know what that is, and that's fine, I'll just go. And they're always really kind of like depressing, like sad movies, and so I'm like,
Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. I don't know if you've seen that
serious,
one. The one with Ryan Gosling.
What is it? In
Between the Woods?
No, I don't think it's called that. It's called
A Place Between the Pines.
That's what it is.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Don't. When I was done, I'm just like, Rick, why did you take me to see that? Like, I feel like shit after watching some of these movies. And so I joke that he takes me to Depress Fest. Like, we were on a string of seeing like 4 or 5 movies in a row, and I'm like, what is this, Depress Fest 2016? Like, seriously, dude, like, I'm good on this stuff. But he lives in that. Like, I don't know.
I like dramatic movies.
I don't have a problem with it, but it's just, I'm not saying I have to just watch like happy movies and stuff. Like, I can appreciate a movie that like is sad and stuff, but like, I don't know that I'm down for movies that just don't put me in a good place when I come out. Like, I don't know. This one definitely, like, it looks interesting. I'm sure, like, if it came down to it and it was good, like, I would check it out, but I know that this is right up your alley.
Yeah.
So I cracked up when you said it looks sad. I don't know that I'm going to run up to go see it. I'm like, Rick probably already has a ticket.
It comes out October 12th of this year.
Oh, it's the perfect Halloween film.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, that's what's up his alley. It's all that scary Halloween.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And
I relate more to that.
Yeah.
I get dragged to those movies. Well,
you don't get dragged. Like,
I willingly go. Except for it. I will not go to that.
He has to see it. He has a thing with clowns. Yeah. He's terrified of clowns.
You have to see it.
You have to see it. He's gotten a lot better. Like, he used to not, like, it just wasn't his thing. Well, it's weird. Rick is weird. Like, sorry, I'm not.
We know that.
Rick is weird, though.
I knew that.
Yeah, and that's, yeah. So James knows. But, like, I get that it's not necessarily a scary movie, but, like, he's not down for what? Like, what's an example? Like, he won't watch The Exorcist, which I get. But then, like, you on your own, like, you're down to see, like, Saw. Which I know some people, I get that that's not necessarily, like, I mean, it's scary in its own way. It's kind of like, it's a little bit different, but I think it's funny how you don't have a problem with Saw, but you'll have a problem with, I don't know.
Well, with Saw, like, the first 3, for the most part, like, I loved the first one. The second and third one, I was like, all right, it was, round out the story. Everything else after that was just like torture porn, or blood and guts, whatever you call it. And that didn't really appeal to me, but like every Saw movie after that, I saw with a friend of ours, Francis. Like, I'd rather just end up somehow seeing those movies with him.
But I just mean...
But then that last one that came out, the, like, prequel-ish one...
Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Jigsaw, there you go, yeah. That one I saw on my own.
No, you didn't. You saw it with me.
Did I see it with you?
Yeah. We saw that together, yeah.
Wow, I don't remember you being there.
Because you're an asshole.
I thought I saw that one alone.
No, you saw that.
You know what?
with
I'm
me.
thinking of the last Saw movie before that.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, okay.
But my point is when the original Saw came out, I think it was like 2004. I didn't know you then.
Yeah.
That was a time frame where I'm thinking you still weren't big on anything that's kind of scary. So I think it's funny that you ended up seeing Saw. Because I feel like that'd be a movie where from afar, not knowing anything, you're like, nope. But, so I don't know, Rick's different. Yeah, we should call this the Rick is Weird episode.
That's every episode.
Yeah. I wish I could think of another example of something that you'll, like, willingly go see. But, anyways, I don't remember what started it. There was some movie I'm like, dude, let's just go see this. It could have been, it was The Conjuring. I think it was The Conjuring.
The first Conjuring, that's right.
So, like, we kept, it was the best. Like, we were seeing, I don't know, we saw a lot of movies together in that movie.
You seen The Conjuring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so that trailer for that came on in the theater, and I think I looked over at Rick, I'm like, dude, Rick, like, that looks really good. Like, I get excited when any sort of scary movie starts coming out just because, I don't know, especially when it looks like it might actually be good, like, and the acting might match it. Like, it gets me excited.
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked over at Rick, I'm like, that looks pretty good. Like, I think we need to go see that. He was reluctant. We did go see it, and then at one point in the movie, I don't remember which part it was exactly, but like it was my fault. I think there were some other people with us too, so we weren't right next to each other. There was 2 people in between us, but at one point I kind of look over to see how Rick's doing, and he looks over at me and he just goes, and I'm like, fuck me. Like, I have no control over what's happening on the screen right now, but somehow it was my fault. But at the same time, he came out of that and he loved The Conjuring, and like we've seen every thing in that universe now, and often talk how cool it is that in the same way, I guess we'll foreshadow a bit. We're going to talk about Ant-Man at some point. How there's the Marvel universe. They've effectively set up like the Conjuring universe, and I think that's amazing.
That's awesome, man.
And I think that was kind of his gateway drug, because then after that, like, he's big on James Wan. You've seen some of the Insidious movies by yourself. You saw one of the Insidious movies by yourself.
Yeah, I saw it at the YouTube space, the last one.
Yeah, look at you,
big
YouTuber.
They had
saw it at the space.
I saw it at the space.
Yeah.
The Joey Graceffa was there interviewing the actress in the movie.
Yeah. So Rick has changed a lot. I don't remember how we got on that, but anyway, Rick is big into stuff like Beautiful Boy, but I've gotten, like you.
I love drama movies. Drama and comedy. Drama and comedy. I just go hand in hand.
But I think you've gotten to a point where you almost get excited for some of this scary stuff that comes out now.
Like Lights Out was one that, like,
did you see Lights Out?
Oh, I love Lights Out.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Did you watch the short first?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So did we.
The short. That's so scary.
The short was really good.
So yeah, like, I think the fact that got me more into like the Conjuring type of movies and Annabelle and all that was that they're true stories. Well, based on true stories for the most part. You know. So you've seen all the Conjuring, like 1, 2, and the Annabelles.
Not the last Annabelle one.
Oh, you should.
Oh, you gotta see that one.
I don't care what. Well, I don't mean to sound like a dick. I was gonna say I don't care what you thought of the first Annabelle, because I know that's some people. We liked it.
I thought it was alright.
No, we liked it. He's gonna say that now. We came out and we liked it.
I gotta watch it again.
We need to watch it again. But we came out of the theater like, wow, that was really good, especially for something that was kind of, I guess, like a spin-off. And then, again, the thing that impresses me, obviously Conjuring's different because it has Vera Farmiga and what's the other
Patrick
guy?
Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. So there's familiar people in there, but Annabelle had nobody, at least at the time, that I was aware of. Like, I'm like, wow, like that was still almost up there with like the acting. Like it matched it, to a point. I was impressed for people that were relatively unknown to me or to us at the time. But what's the other
Creation?
Annabelle? Creation's really good. So I think most people have that opinion. There's a lot of people that didn't like the first Annabelle but really liked Creation, so I definitely would check it out.
Okay. It's on my list.
Yeah.
There's just
right.
So much content to watch.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing, too. Way too much content.
Yeah, with Creation, there's a lot of practical effects in that.
The Conjuring also.
The Conjuring too. But I know the director of Creation wanted to make sure he could do as much practical effects as he can, and for the most part, it was all practical, which is amazing to see. And The Conjuring 2, I think.
The Conjuring, the first one was definitely all practical. The Conjuring 2, I think, probably was also, but maybe there was some stuff.
You saw the second Conjuring?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that one part in the second Conjuring. Is it the second one where the person is like cut in half? Or am I thinking of a different movie?
I don't remember. I honestly can't think.
Oh, you brought it up to me.
Yeah.
Where you thought that was practical.
Yeah, that is. No, wait. Is that Conjuring? I think that's Annabelle Creation.
Oh, that might be Annabelle Creation.
Yeah,
never mind. I'll stop myself now.
Yeah, that's practical. But yeah. So we're highly anticipated. Well, I am, and I think you are too. But like of the Nun.
Oh yeah.
Because
that trailer literally made me jump on my couch.
Oh, dude,
I fucking loved it.
Yeah, I've been waiting to get any sort of look at that movie, because when we came out of The Conjuring 2, I'm like, dude, that Nun. I think we said it. Not that, it was kind of predictable, but I go like, dude, they need to make a movie about that Nun, because just the way that Nun looks. And then it got announced like a week later or something. I was so excited about that. So it's gotten to a point where I'm just like, I'm down to see anything in that world or that universe, because I think it's awesome that exists, especially because there's kind of a period where like scary movies would come out, horror movies would come out, and they weren't that good. Like maybe they showed potential, but the acting was shitty, or they were cheesy, or they all did the same thing. I feel like The Conjuring has kind of broken that mold a little bit. Like, not saying that that's the most innovative thing in the world, but I like what it's done. I feel like it's brought the genre up, in my opinion. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So is that kind of your genre then? Because I think you kind of mentioned when he said horror.
If I had to pick one, I'd go with horror first.
Yeah. Good stuff. But you've changed. I mean, Rick and I have went down some I don't know. Did you ever get into like VHS and stuff, like the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We watched that like we're like, oh dude, like why don't we check this out? We watched it on the first one. We both thought was fantastic because it was just like they did such a good job.
And we knew nothing going into it, right?
We really kind of knew not
Did
much.
you know anything going into it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And I feel like those movies did such a good job of like making you really uncomfortable with what you were watching, like what was happening and you shouldn't be seeing it. It did such a good job of that. And that's what I was impressed with. The things following it weren't very good. Like
Second one was good.
Second one was
Most
of it. I think we liked the second one, but I think there was some of the whatever you want to call them, the clips or whatever they did were kind of lame, but the ones that were good were really good. Then the third one was terrible, from what I remember.
It was awful.
Yeah.
I think we even paid for that, and we're like, what did we just pay for?
I think so.
And,
we watched it. We watched it at home, but yeah, it wasn't good. So James has to come back in October, and we have to talk. And yes, now he needs to team up with me, and we need to get you to watch it. You would like it.
I can't watch it.
I know
I would like it, but at the same time, I know I wouldn't be able to sleep for a while.
In my opinion, I don't know what you think about it. It's not even the scariest movie you've seen. Like I think it's scary for me, I guess. I think it's scary, but like it does, and I'm not just saying it because Finn Wolfhard is in it, but I think it does have like a Stranger Things vibe to it with like the kids and stuff, and like there's like an adventure aspect to the movie that I think you would really like.
Really well done. It's just a great film.
You have to look past the clown.
And it's a drama. It's just a little extreme drama.
Yeah. Exactly. I get it though. Like his thing is clowns, but I just think you've seen scarier stuff. I feel like I don't know. I mean, did you think? I know some people thought it was like the scariest thing they've ever seen. It's scary, but I just think I don't know.
I would go more with like creepy and atmospheric.
Yeah. See. Yeah. Exactly. The Exorcist is the other one that he won't watch, and I still think that movie stands.
I would probably give more of a chance to watch it than I would Exorcist.
What's your reasoning behind not watching The Exorcist?
Because I think he's just...
I'm just really
I'm just
curious
like
now.
From what everything I hear about it, like everyone says that nothing can top that movie, and being the scariest movie of all time, and like possessions and everything like The Conjuring.
That's my wheelhouse. I love anything possession. Like I think that's super interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. Just from everything I've heard, like the tales from behind the scenes stuff. It's like, do I really want to let that kind of thing into my life? That movie with I don't know.
Is Exorcist up there for you?
See, I knew I was going to be asked that. I actually think it's one of the most overrated horror films I've ever seen.
Wow,
I'm not going to start there.
Wow,
yeah.
I am not a fan.
First time I've heard that.
I'm not a fan.
How old were you when you saw it, if you don't mind me asking?
I saw it when I was young, maybe in my teens, and I saw it recently a few years ago again.
Okay. I still think it holds up. I mean,
it's a good film, but I don't. What people say about it and how like the scare factor and some of the things, I'm like, I don't get that.
Okay, that's fair. So you should watch it and see. That's my fear though too. I feel like for him, it could have been built up already to this point to where he's expecting so much that I feel like he will watch it and be like, oh, well, that's it. And not to mention, even though I do think it holds up pretty well, like, I mean, it's so old now. So, I mean, I don't know. I saw the movie, I want to say, when I was like 10 or younger. And
there's some really great practical effects in that.
For me, just like the visual of like how she looks, especially when I was that age, like freaked me out. Mm-hmm. I had a Ouija board at the time and I broke it over my knee and threw it away after that movie because it's just, I don't know. So it just depends. I mean, you're not the first person I've heard.
But you still want to play with it.
It usually has to do with those the horror films that have a lot of religious overtones in it. None of that scares me.
Okay.
I guess growing up in a Christian house with a Christian mom, like I don't know. I guess even though like I'm not a believer as far as like all that stuff, yet somehow I feel like I am. If that makes any sense. It doesn't, but again, I never make sense. I don't know.
I'm just staring at the camera, shaking my head.
I don't know how to explain
I just just let them go and just see what happens.
I talk and things come out of my mouth.
Yeah. I hear you on that a little bit. Like, I think I don't know. I think the reason why possession, like, I don't know if I want to say, I think interest is the word. Like, I like the idea of being scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm the type of person that will watch something by myself, shut off all the lights. I don't know.
You
Like,
do the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
crazy.
And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh well, nothing scares me. Like, I don't mean that, but I think it's just like there's like an adrenaline rush I get from it that I enjoy, and I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if it's that the religious stuff scares me. I think I just find it interesting. Like, I find possession interesting. Just supposedly, like, there's historical records of exorcisms and possessions happening. So I find that really, really interesting. Which The Conjuring, has elements of that as well. Dude, you just have to like. It's a movie. They're movies.
And that's also a thing why I like The Conjuring and Annabelle, because of that sliver of truth to it.
Mm-hmm. But that's not that can't be the only reason though, because I mean The Nun.
Well, James Wan is an incredible director too. I mean, like I think it was the first scene in the first Conjuring, that one shot, where they go through the house and like that's a really good.
He's good. Sometimes though I feel he shows a little too much.
Really?
In his directorial style.
Just
because I always
find
the things that you don't see are always the scariest.
I agree.
And that's how I feel Annabelle Creation is. It's like they don't show you a lot. They leave it to your imagination, which is a lot more scary in my opinion.
Like when I was in college, and I still like it. I still like this movie, but when Signs came out, I remember like I don't know what I was expecting, but I remember I left really enjoying Signs. But I'm with you in that it's a little disappointing when you do see the alien or whatever. Like, not that it's bad, but everything leading up to that movie is up to that point is so fun.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you're on this adventure. It's so cool when they're running around the house or whatever, like trying to scare whatever's outside by cussing or whatever, and they come back. Like, I don't know, like.
Yeah.
But I hear you. Like, sometimes what you don't see is better. Like, left to the imagination. But at the same time, there's also that part of you that wants to see. You know what I mean? But then you just don't want to be let down. So yeah. Cheesy. Welcome to the chat. This is James. Mike isn't here. James and Rick have met before. They met online, kind of like I've met you online, just not in person yet. And this is my first time meeting James. So thanks for coming by. We're starting late because we saw Ant-Man. And that's the deal. So we're going to talk about that. Have you seen it, Cheesy? Because if you haven't, we will probably...
Talk spoilers.
I'm guessing we're going to talk spoilers.
Yeah.
I just don't see the point. We'll start off non-spoilery, but yeah. Right now we're talking horror movies. Not the kind you're thinking of, though, Cheesy. Horror movies. So anyways, yeah. I don't remember what we were talking about.
Scary movies.
Oh, yeah. Like James was saying, the stuff that you don't see.
Yeah. I
could see that with James Wan to an extent. But at the same time, what you do see, I think, is good.
Yeah, no, he's still really good.
Yeah, absolutely. What is, I don't know, like, so what's like tops for you? I hate those questions. I feel like an asshole even asking that question when someone's like, what's your top 5, whatever. But you say Exorcist, you think it's overrated. So, like, give me some for you that are, like, special, I guess.
I'm just going to have to go with the one that made the biggest impression, and that was Halloween when I was younger.
Okay.
Just nothing ever beats that.
Interesting.
I haven't seen it.
Interesting.
I know.
Yeah,
well, I've seen parts of it, but I mean, it doesn't really count. But like, I've never watched the whole thing through. Like, not even when like it came out with like H2O. Like, I didn't even see that one either.
I'm a big slasher fan.
Okay.
I like seeing people under the age of 18 just getting slaughtered.
There you go. Interesting.
See.
Or at least pretending to be there.
Right. See, I don't want to say that that's where we're different, because I can appreciate that too. But like, I don't know if I find that type of movie scary. I guess more suspenseful, which is fine. But yeah, like if I had to pick between Exorcist and Halloween, I'd pick Exorcist. But I do like Halloween a lot. Were you? How did you feel about the new trailer for the new movie?
I'll see it.
Okay.
That's what I'll say.
I'll see it.
I don't know if I liked it or not, but
all right.
Just because they're completely rewriting everything.
Yeah.
Rewriting as in like this is just brand new?
Yeah, it will completely disregards Halloween 9, I think, and then H2O.
Oh, it's throwing those aside. Okay. Yeah, I heard something
Because
that they're rewriting it because like her
might be a
character
spoiler,
died,
but
right?
she died in Halloween 9, I think.
That I knew.
Yeah, or Halloween Resurrection, whatever it's called.
That's gonna be interesting.
But I think they're rewriting everything past the very first one. So just the events in Halloween 2 didn't happen either.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, those are movies I'd say I'm more of a casual fan of. Like, I can't say, like, I wouldn't be able to. It already, to me, sounds like you know more about Halloween than I do. Same with Friday the 13th. I can appreciate those movies, but I don't have, like, a big, I know everything about them sort of thing, you know? Yeah. Where do you stand on, like, slasher? Like, that doesn't bug you. I mean, you saw Saw, and Saw's kind of, like, gore and stuff, too.
That's true. No, yeah, I mean, slashers are fine for me. Like, I mean, I guess what really got me into, like, slasher or even horror movies, per se, is Scream, the first Scream. That, like, was just...
Oh, yeah.
One of the best movies I've seen.
It's still one of the best slasher films.
Yeah.
Well, James, you have to come back after Halloween comes out then, because I want to hear.
Okay.
I want to hear your thoughts.
See, I would go see it, but I mean, I feel like I'm gonna have to go catch up by watching all the.
I think you'd be fine.
If they're rewriting everything, it doesn't matter.
You don't think,
I haven't seen all of them, and I'm gonna see it. You know,
yeah, watch like the
not
first
all of them
three.
are good anyway. So
yeah. Okay, where we talked about it a little bit, like, so, like, original Saw, how impactful was that movie for you when you first saw it?
I loved it.
Okay.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Did you know about it going into it, or did you just go?
Well, I knew what kind of film it was, but of course the ending was a complete surprise and shock.
Yeah.
And I'm actually one of the few that I like every Saw film.
Oh, wow.
Because I love trying to figure out the twist that they have, no matter how ridiculous it is.
Right.
And I'm always amazed because I'm never actually figuring it out.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But the first one's the best in your.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, yeah. I've talked about this a million times on the show, but like I was at Comic-Con that year, and they showed Saw before it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't even really know. I went to a panel. I saw. They showed a clip, and it was the clip when they're in, I don't know, the loft or whatever, and they're taking flash photography, and you kind of see stuff happening. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Like at the time. And then, yeah, there was a screening that night, and me and some friends went, and the theater was super packed because it was free. I mean, there was people sitting on the steps and stuff inside the theater. But everybody left that, like, we were all just like, because, you know, you literally, like, knew nothing. We hadn't seen a trailer, hadn't seen anything. And, I mean, no one really knew anything, but to see it that way, where I just saw that little clip, oh, check out this little horror movie, and then you watch it, and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, I was, like, blown away. I couldn't wait to talk to people about Saw, and I had to wait like 3 to 4 months before it actually came out. Like, yeah,
that's cool though to share that kind of experience.
Oh, it
with
was
that many people at the same time.
It was amazing. It was amazing. The only thing that's similar is an experience that Rick and I shared. So as another one to talk. So where do you stand on like things like Cloverfield and stuff?
So far I love it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, not so much the last one.
The last one.
It was okay, but yeah, Cloverfield was awesome.
It just answered some questions.
Right. So similar to my experience with the first Saw, Rick and I's 1 Cloverfield Lane. That's what it's called, right?
10 Cloverfield.
10. I missed the 0. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Mm-hmm.
So Rick again hit me up, and he's like, hey, in Long Beach there's a screening for blah 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 movie. No, it wasn't. It was Long Beach. Yeah, it was Long Beach for sure.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Who's the director?
Dan Trachtenberg.
So he's a big Dan Trachtenberg guy. So I think that was why we went. Yes. And then we knew John Goodman was in it. And then, what's her name?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
And her. It's really all we knew. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And when we saw it, it was called Valencia.
Oh, okay.
That's all it was called. It was called Valencia. Okay? And so we're watching this movie and not knowing what's going to happen. We don't know what John Goodman is referring to. And the reason why I say it was a different experience is when we were done, we're like, wow, that movie was really fucking good. Then a few months later, stuff starts to come out about the movie, and then they announce that it's a Cloverfield movie. And we both looked at each other and we're just like, what? Like, because we saw it and nothing at any point for us, because there was no hint, there was nothing attached to it that was Cloverfield, ever thought like, oh yeah, this is a Cloverfield movie. So for us, we kind of think it sucks people that didn't get to see the movie the way we did, because people that saw that movie knowing that it was a Cloverfield movie are kind of expecting that ending to happen, where we did not expect the ending that happens in that movie. And that was just another thing where it's like, man, like, why couldn't they have just still called it something else? And then maybe they could have just shown, like, at the end, like, the street sign that says Cloverfield or something. That would have been so much better. But, I mean, that's another experience that won't be duplicated because everybody else saw that movie as 10 Cloverfield Lane, you know? So, yeah, that's the closest thing I can compare my Saw experience to the first time is that. But, I mean, can you imagine, does that change
Go
that
watch
movie?
a movie called Valencia, and then, you know, that, what is that called? Mailbox drops and it says on Cloverfield Lane. That would have been awesome.
And it was the exact same film. It had the same ending.
Yeah.
The only thing like I noticed was like in the beginning of the movie where she goes to the gas station and you see the Slusho sign. Like that wasn't there when we saw the original. So they took out those parts to keep it that secret, I think.
Okay.
Like for us, we're literally just seeing this movie that's by Dan Trachtenberg. It's called Valencia, and John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That was it. So we were just like, dang, I feel like it's kind of not ruined, because I still think on its own it's fine, but I think you go into that movie knowing it's a Cloverfield movie, you're expecting that ending, and that ending for us can totally, like,
I didn't know
if it was going to be aliens. I didn't know if they really were at war. So it was a very interesting way to see it. And
that must have been cool.
Yeah, it was a different experience for sure. We really didn't talk about Beautiful Boy at all. We went into horror corner.
That's what happens on the show.
So there you go. So yeah, that movie's right in your wheelhouse. James and I aren't going to go run out and go see that immediately. But it looks good, and I do think, you know, I mean, based off the trailer and stuff, it does seem like this could be one of those movies that, you know, could win him something. So, yeah.
I think he has a better shot at winning for the other, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because Robert Zemeckis.
With this one, his co-stars Timothée Chalamet.
From...
I think Timothy's going to outshine him, because that's what he did in Call Me By Your Name.
That's what it was called, yeah. Still haven't seen that. I gotta see it.
It's drama, so you might like it.
I know, I gotta see it.
But it's pretty gay.
I know. Ryan O'Leary liked it a lot too. So, and then he told me, like, you should go see it.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
And, it was Armie Hammer too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I can't hear that guy's name and just not think Armie Hammer. Like, when I first heard it, I was just like...
Oh my god, I never even...
That's all I ever hear. I'm just like, who? Like, when I first heard it, I'm like, what is this guy's name? Like, Armie Hammer. But, yeah. Alright, so, trailers, we don't have...
We're done with trailers. News?
There's really no... Is there anything you just feel like talking about that's this past week that kind of got your antenna up, I guess? Lack of a better way to put it? News-wise, TV, movies, anything. And if not, we'll just go right
What are you
into
currently watching? Or binging?
I'm catching up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's not anything to talk about.
All right.
It's passable television.
I started something new. My problem. Tell me my problem.
So Rick's problem, which is funny, because when we first started doing this, we had this podcast, Some Shit We Like, and then him and another friend of ours were doing a show about TV. Because Rick, you know,
I watched a lot of TV.
Rick was or is. I mean, he still loves TV, but now his thing is there, and I get it. There is so much stuff on TV to watch, but Rick's problem is he'll be so excited about a show and he'll watch an episode and then he'll never go back to it, or he'll start something, he never finishes it, and it pisses me off so much because I'm like, Rick, you're fucking up. Because, like, there'll be shows that he'll start and he'll go back to a year later. I'm like, dude, start over. Like, how are you even going to remember at this point? So I roll my eyes when he says, I started something else, because I have, like, a laundry list of shit that he should already be watching, and I'm sure whatever he's about to say is none of that shit.
Nope. Right. It's 11/26/62.
Oh, on Hulu?
On Hulu, yeah.
Is it good?
I watched the first episode and I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was kind of weird.
One episode.
Huh?
I'm just laughing. You watched one episode?
I watched one episode. Well, yeah, I just watched it today.
Okay.
Was it today? Yeah, it was today.
Dang, dude, you've done a lot today.
I woke up early, man. I woke up at 6:15 or some shit like that. So I got a lot done today. So I watched that, and I thought it was really interesting. You know the premise, right? It's about the
I had never heard of it.
Where he's supposed to prevent Kennedy's assassination.
Okay.
A coworker of mine actually read the book first, and then when she told me about it, I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. And then I heard they were making the show. I'm like, oh, I'd rather watch the show than read that book that's like this thick. The kid is. Also, James Franco, I like him too, and it hooked me. The first episode hooked me. I'm interested. It's kind of.
We'll see. He says that all the time, and like, hey, did you continue? No.
Nah.
So I'm not convinced anymore with Rick ever.
What got me to see it though, because I completely forgot about it, was the Game Over Greggy show, which is another podcast that we listen to.
Are you familiar with like Greg Miller and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a video game guy at all?
I play sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't Greg. I think it was
Nick.
Tim or Nick. Nick. It was Nick.
Probably
it was
Nick.
Nick. He was talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I have Hulu right now, so like I'll give that a watch. And it looked interesting. So, like you said, you're watching Agents of the Shield. Yeah, I couldn't get past the first season.
Yeah.
I'm sad about it too because I thought it was a really interesting premise, but I don't know what happened.
I'm really just watching it because I have a hard on for the Marvel universe.
Oh wow, okay.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, see, I'm like I love the Marvel universe too, and I'm a Marvel kid, so like Spider-Man is my number one. And I don't know. I think it got to the point where they were just doing too much, and it was really hard to catch up.
They still are.
They still are doing too much.
They're in space now.
They're in space now?
They're in space now.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I wonder if they're
stuck there. I don't know the outcome yet.
Wow. That had me curious.
What's the last... Well, because it sounds like you're sort of... I don't know. Well, I'll just say, what's the last good thing you feel like you've watched TV series-wise? That you were like, oh wow, that was really good.
Well, I would like to say Westworld, because that just ended, but
okay.
I won't.
Oh, really?
He loves Westworld.
Well, I think Westworld's really good.
Second season?
I didn't think it was bad. I think it's a little confusing, for sure, but, like, I don't know.
More than a little.
Yeah, probably a lot confusing, but I guess I'm still there. I don't know. Okay. I think that's another show that I think he would like, but he probably...
Yeah, I saw Twitter blowing up about, like, how much they disliked the end of the second season.
I think it's... I don't think it's all one way. I think there's people that like it and there's people that don't.
Well, true.
It's one of those things where it's a lot to talk about. I think that's the best way to put it. Okay. What about something you liked?
Oh crap! I don't know.
I'm putting you on the spot. If you don't got it, that's fine. Why do you watch a lot of TV? Well, I'm consistent. I don't really watch a lot of TV, but like I'll start something and I'll finish.
You feel like you have to finish it.
Yeah. I will say I still think one of my, and I think maybe you've seen it, and I feel like this would be up your like. Did you like Stranger Things? Everybody likes Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So aside from that, what was it? I think Rick and I were reviewing season 2 of Stranger Things, and somebody commented on our YouTube, one of our clips. Or maybe it was in the chat, I don't remember, saying, oh, you should really watch, if you like Stranger Things, you should watch Dark. And Dark is on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it. It's German.
I haven't seen it yet. It is on my list, though.
I still stand, like, I think about that show, like, a few times a week. And I've been done with it for, like, I don't know what it was. Like, the tone, the music. Even though, like, I always tell people, like, even if you aren't really a big person that wants to like read what they're watching. I mean, there's English dubs too, but don't watch it that way. Even if that isn't your thing, it does such a good job of just visually telling its story. Like there's sometimes where no one's speaking for a long period of time, but it's so captivating. That's another show that this guy I think was actually ahead of me on, and he hasn't went back to, but highly recommend that show. I think that show is really good.
I will jump on that.
Yeah. Especially like knowing what I know about you now, like I think you'd really dig it. Like I want to rewatch it. So, okay, let's
jump in.
Hot. That was Bryant. He messaged me, and I know we're gonna talk about this. So yeah.
All right. So, Ant-Man and the Wasp. We all went to go see it, and we're gonna talk about it. So, we're gonna do no spoilers at first, then we'll jump into spoilers.
Okay.
So, overall, did it live up to the first one?
I only saw the first one once, and I have to admit I don't remember it very well. But I liked the first movie a lot, so I'm not going to compare. I will say that I did like this one a lot. I thought it was really good. I don't feel like it fell short of anything. At the same time, I didn't really go in with any sort of expectations. But I think both movies, and again, I just said I don't remember the first one very well, but I think both movies are just really fun. I think they're fun movies, and yeah, the only thing I'll say about this is I think some of the jokes, but in a lot of Marvel movies, are that way, a little corny. I just kind of like, I'm like, all right, really? Just like all the things they tried to say with like the word ant in it and stuff.
Those jokes feel a little bit better though in
Yeah.
Ant-Man. They
You
feel
think so?
more
I
appropriate.
think so too.
All right.
I talk about when he names like
for me is a little off still, but I mean it's not the most egregious example of the jokes that have been
I
happening.
think if it was anyone other than Paul Rudd,
yeah,
it wouldn't land.
It's him that
Right.
gets away with it.
Yeah,
So,
that's the only reason.
Yeah,
he gets
that's
away
true.
with it.
So I really enjoyed it. What about you, James?
I really liked it too. I thought it surpassed the original.
Okay.
If only because you already knew the characters, so you got past all that bullshit of getting to know them.
Right.
And
Yes.
you just got to have fun with them.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you with that because like I like the first one a lot too.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, it's we're getting to know these characters. We need to know who they are, and then the second one's like, all right, you know who they are. Let's just get into it, and that's why I do love the second one. Better or about the same as the first one because they're both good movies, and I mean Paul Rudd is just fucking amazing. He's a great comedic actor. And
he's turning into being a good superhero too.
And
Like
a
it's just
superhero,
so
yeah.
At first I'm like, he's gonna be Ant-Man. Like I just didn't understand, but now Paul Rudd is like ripped and and he's a full-on superhero.
I was wondering
so.
how, because like every Marvel hero ends up taking off their shirt, one time or another, and like I was like, I wonder how they're gonna put it into this one. And it was him getting into the tub, which is funny.
Yeah.
So you were thinking about Paul Rudd taking his shirt off?
Oh yeah, the whole time.
That's okay, me too.
And he loves Chris Hemsworth.
No,
Thor.
See that
That's
gets
another joke.
attached to me because Thor was my
His
gateway into the
Mhm.
Marvel universe, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I love Chris Hemsworth. And it's like, all right, whatever, sure.
But yeah, I think the jokes landed. The only reason the jokes worked in this movie is because of Paul Rudd. I stand so strongly behind that.
I'm not saying they didn't work. I just kind of look and I'm just like,
Right.
all right.
But I just, as far as like, because like with Ragnarok and even with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, like I feel like they're kind of depending on
I don't
which
agree
ones
with you
are,
on Ragnarok, and we talked about this already.
because I thought Ragnarok, it was good. I loved Ragnarok, but I feel like there were sometimes jokes in places where they did not need to be.
I don't know that I think that movie from the start was kind of tongue-in-cheek, more so, like, it didn't take itself so seriously, so the jokes that were in that didn't bother me. I think Ragnarok was fine, but that's fine. Yeah,
No, I liked it too.
No, I'm not saying you didn't.
Saying I
But we
don't
talked
like
about this when we reviewed
Yeah,
it,
that's
too.
true.
So, I just don't
But
agree.
I feel like all the jokes, and like I've watched this twice. I watched this movie twice now.
Yeah, Rick's seen it twice now.
And even the second time around, like I still loved everything about this movie. The naming of the different ants, that's probably like my favorite thing in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like
really
Antonio Banderas.
See, that's the stuff where I was just like, come on, like I just didn't need it. It's fine though, like
Marie
it's fine.
Antoinette.
It fits the character of Scott.
No,
Yeah.
totally, like it's yeah.
And with the movie
he's
named
a cheesy
Ant-Man,
guy. Right.
like you kind of have to do it. And the effects in this movie are also great. Like Ghost is like I'm curious. I want to know filmmaking wise, movie and visual effects wise. Like I want to know how they did that. Like how did they make like her shadow like show further? You know, like the effects that she has on phasing and stuff like that. I thought that was amazing. So I really like that, the visual effects in this.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot Judy Greer is in it, and I really love her a lot.
See, this is how much I don't remember the first. So Judy Greer is his ex-wife.
His ex-wife, yeah.
And then, what's his name? The actor's name is Bobby Carnival.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's her new boyfriend or husband. Okay, I totally forgot about that. Their relationship is weird or
Yeah.
open like that, but that was something that like that I just didn't remember for the first movie at all. I will say, for me being relatively new to all this stuff, and I think I felt this way when I watched the first Ant-Man, but more so with this one because, like you guys both already said, we're not introducing these characters anymore. It's hard for me to like watch this and not think like, dang, is Ant-Man like the most badass like of all the superheroes? Like, it's hard to argue with Ant-Man's powers, so to speak. I mean, like, they could shrink stuff down. Like, it, you know what I mean? Like, when it comes down to it, I don't think it's meant that way, but I'm just like, dang, pound for pound, I wonder if, like, I would want Ant-Man's powers. Like, like, I really feel like this movie delivered on showing, like, the impact that Ant-Man and the Wasp can have, like, during these big epic battles and stuff. That was my takeaway. So, I just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, the scale of his powers going big and going small, like, he's pretty powerful.
You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, like,
those could also be weaknesses, though. So I wouldn't necessarily say he's like one of the
I mean, it's just my opinion.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And I would probably want those powers too.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I get it's not necessarily entirely him. Like, I was also including like how crazy it is just to like shrink down a building and like drag it along like a suitcase and stuff. Or something. Dang, like
that was hilarious.
So maybe it isn't so much Ant-Man's powers, but I like that. I was like, dang, that's awesome. Or just the whole thing with the cars. I'm just like, that is so like stealthy. It's like we're gonna drive like this mini car, and then it's gonna become big, and then we're gonna shrink it down. And it's like that. I think that just the idea of everything that is capable in that movie, I think, is kind of amazing. So I think it's more of that. But James, you really enjoyed the movie too.
I did. I did very much.
Cool.
The truth serum part was hilarious.
I think I'm just hard. I think it takes me, I don't know, like, I laugh, I think this goes with a lot of people, but I laugh more in groups. If I'm watching something even by myself, sometimes, like, even if it's funny, I don't laugh. So I don't want to say it takes more for me to laugh, but yeah, there's just a lot of stuff I'm like, okay, I get why that's funny. I mean, I think it's kind of whatever, but I don't know.
Well, I like that we got his, I'm forgetting the character's name, Michael Pena's character's name. Well, anyways, like, I like that we got like his storytelling aspect again in this movie.
I was wondering how they were going to do that, and they fitted it in appropriately.
Yeah, it worked really well. And just watching Paul Rudd and how do you say her name?
Evangeline
Lilly, yeah. Like, talk that way with his dubbed voice was, oh my god, that was so good.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I love that.
So, anything you guys disliked about the movie?
I have like a love-hate feeling with Ghost.
Okay.
Because I love the way she looked, and I loved her backstory, because I feel the best villains are not about taking over the world. They have a more personal reason for doing what they do. But I never felt like we knew enough about her to even care about her. But then again, the movie was not really about her either. So
yeah, the movie kind of like, that's another thing I took away from it. It had like a lot of balls in the air, in the sense of like, yeah, there's her story, and then there's the people that they're dealing with that were like selling them the parts and stuff. Then there's Lawrence Fishburne, who I guess is also part of Ghost, or you could tie them in together. Then there's just like the race against time, and trying to reunite with, I guess we kind of blew the whole spoiler non-spoiler thing. We just went fucking full spoilers, but Cheesy's at the baseball game, so he's not watching anyways.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like, I just felt like, dang, there's a lot of like, as soon as one thing got settled, then you're dealing with Janet, you're dealing with Ghost, you're dealing with him not getting caught on his house arrest stuff.
That's true.
That's typical Marvel storytelling, though.
Yeah, I guess
Never
so.
wanting you to get bored.
It felt a little bit more apparent for some reason to me in this movie. I think it's obviously really like that in the Avengers movies, because there's so many things happening in those. But I thought they did a good job of making you care and think about a lot of stuff in Ant-Man in this movie, for sure.
Yeah. I'm always a fan of, the first Ant-Man and this one, because they're small stories.
Yeah.
All these other Marvel films are so big and epic, it's hard to relate to it sometimes, so you just enjoy it. But with Ant-Man, you kind of feel a little bit more, I think.
It feels a little bit more down to earth.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I totally agree with
think
that
that's
too. I was actually gonna pretty much say the same thing what you just said, because yeah, everything else is just so epic. I almost feel like this, like Ant-Man, could also be part of, like in the middle between the epicness and like the street level, like Jessica Jones and Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like they're just like right in the middle.
Yeah.
And in a good way, because like you don't always want see the world end, and like the first Ant-Man was pretty much a heist movie.
Yeah,
you
this
know?
was kind of a heist
And
movie too, in a way.
Kind of a heist movie.
It has
Yeah.
that tone for sure.
And and that's the same reason why I like these movies, and like they have the perfect actors for this type of movie. And,
I like the addition of Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Like she didn't get to do a lot, but I really enjoyed what she did do.
Yeah, her presence was definitely there, as in like, 'cause she's just a great actress.
There's a lot of heavy hitters in this movie now.
Yeah.
You know? Like her, Pfeiffer, and what's his name, Michael Douglas. You know, and everybody that's in it. Like it's kind of crazy, especially because there's probably some people that just sort of write off like Ant-Man, like, oh, you know, I could just see it whenever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know if we want to jump to this, but what's your guys' takeaway with the post-credits scene? Do you guys have any theories what it means?
I'm assuming the first one.
Yeah. We actually left because he said, don't worry about the final one.
Yeah.
I had to go to the bathroom.
Amusing though.
Yeah.
We
wanted to get back here for you and set up, so we just...
Well, I knew they would have to connect it to Infinity War.
Yeah, they had to.
And, but yeah, so I was waiting for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for it. Like, I didn't think it was going to be a post-credit scene. I thought it was actually going to, like, happen right when they were doing the whole drive-in thing.
Oh, really?
You know, I thought, or, like, something to that point where, like, I thought we were going to see him, like, react to his, like, daughter disappearing or something like that. Maybe this is just, like, really morbid and like, really wrong.
Yeah, that's dark.
But, like, dark, there you go. But I thought it was going to be something kind of like that.
That's funny. I didn't even put that together, actually. I feel kind of stupid now, like, Infinity War. That's totally what that was.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what, like, it totally
put
had an
that together,
epiphany. Okay.
So
basically, then that means that essentially what was happening in Ant-Man was happening, like, simultaneously, I guess?
Yes.
We could
Yes.
say? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because the reason he wasn't there along with Hawkeye.
Well, the reason why
Hawkeye's-
Ant-Man wasn't there was because he was under house arrest,
yes.
too. But now this also explains, well, I don't
why
know.
he survived.
Right.
Sort of. Because he's now stuck in the quantum realm.
Yeah. Well, during the post-credit sequence, too, they mentioned, or Michelle Pfeiffer's character mentioned, about the time vortex inside the quantum realm. So, clearly time is going to be a huge part of the next Infinity War.
Yeah. Interesting.
You're right. I totally forgot about that. I watched the movie twice. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling too, because like I've seen some of the posts, or not posts. There were posts of the on-set pictures, which I don't get so upset anymore about, because like I know it's a Marvel movie. I know they're gonna survive, you know, for the most part. So like that's why I saw some of them, and plus it was in my feed.
Don't get too complacent though on that, because they have to kill somebody in the next Avenger film, or everything they're doing won't be worth it.
Oh,
someone
is
really biting the dust this time.
And so, see, that was my joke too. Like, one of our friends, you know, after he saw Infinity War, he's just like, so what'd you think? Like, everybody died, or like people died. I'm like, they're not, like, even me watching it, who didn't really know much about it, I'm like, I didn't really look at that. I didn't think of that as them dying. I just thought like, oh, okay, well, you know what I mean? But there's some people that are, I'm like, they're not. Oh, you'll see. I'm like, dude.
Oh, no, they're not killing all of the Guardians and Black Panther.
Yeah.
All their money makers.
I'm referring to Bryant, and I don't think that's what he. But he would joke with me about that, and I'm like, dude. He's like, well, yeah, I guess I'm like, they're not. Anyways,
they're coming back, but technically they're dead.
They're not dead. They're not dead.
They're in another dimension, perhaps. They're in the quantum realm.
They could be inside the Infinity Stone.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Inside the Soul Stone or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, you guys kind of, I don't know if I just was too concerned with having to go to the bathroom, but I didn't even think about Infinity, but as soon as you said Infinity War, I'm like, oh, okay, like, and they disappeared. All right.
I'm surprised you didn't put that.
I don't know why I didn't. I told you I'm a newbie to this stuff.
I just saw the first one.
I know. I just didn't think about. I just didn't cross my mind. So, any other final thoughts about this? Because I am dying.
Yeah, me too. Well, I'm just kind of curious how they're going to get him out. Like, I don't know how he's going to get out of.
I think the time vortex will come into play, and I think
Oh,
he'll get himself
I
out
see what you're
through
saying.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not necessarily in the right time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's just my random.
No, I think that's a pretty good.
Because the
theory.
next is Captain Marvel, which takes place in the 90s.
Yeah. So it's looking
Oh
pretty
wow.
hot.
Yeah.
Which
So
ties
Ant-Man.
into the whole time thing, too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I guess the only other way that he would possibly be able to get out is like Lawrence Fishburne's character might be able to
survive.
to figure out
yeah.
that he, you know, would be in there because otherwise no one else would know.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, he probably doesn't know, but he's the person that could find out.
Ghost.
Well, yeah, Ghost too.
Ghost, yeah, 'cause she's technically in the quantum realm, sort of, or can control it.
So.
That's right.
But it sounds like overall we really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. I recommend going to see it.
So is that it?
I think so. Unless there's
Is this-
anything else you feel like sharing. Yeah, I am dying right now. So James, do you have anything else to share?
No, I'm good. Sweat's rolling down my back, so.
Yeah. If you have anything you want to pimp out, like social media wise or YouTube, like now's the time.
I'm James Redwine. Check out something.
I'll put all in the description down below.
I'm all over everywhere.
He does fantastic reviews on red wine, so I want to make the show happen. So no, I'm just whatever. But anyways, all right, we are dying. It's been 100+ degrees here the past couple days.
We don't do the outro. Let's just take it away.
That's what I'm doing. So wait, what? Don't do the outro?
Just end it.
No, I got it. Anyways,
Okay.
if you caught us live, we appreciate that. Thank you for joining us live. And if you're listening to us on your podcast services or through someshitwelike.com, we appreciate that as well. Once again, you can catch the audio of this every Tuesday, usually at about 10 o'clock, and you can catch clips throughout the week on YouTube at noon, and one also at 6 o'clock on Thursday, and then the whole show will be up at noon for your viewing pleasure on Friday. And with that said, Rick,
until next time,
that was some shit we like. And James.